In the Great Lakes Regional of the Little League World Series on ESPN, it's the Battle of New Albany's. New Albany from Ohio and the New Albany Little Leaguers from the state of Indiana. Great Lakes Regional continues modified double elimination format, and earlier today Michigan continuing to explode with the bats with a 12-2 victory. So Grosse Pointe Shores Woods at the top of the list with 2 victories. Indiana trying to join them in a super matchup on Wednesday. Obviously, Ohio's got a chance here today. Greetings, welcome back to our exclusive coverage of the Little League World Series on ESPN. I'm Jim Barber. This is John Gregory. We know Ohio has talent. We know it has home run power. John, what it does not have is experience.
That's correct. Yeah, the first team out of that Little League to ever have a chance to be here, but it's really no fluke that they're here. They went through their state championship, won 5 games, so it's a team that's pretty good and deservedly so to be here.
It faces an Indiana team so good at defense. In fact, yesterday, just an error or 2 that really didn't matter in the final score, and its hitting, led by Luke Kruer, was outstanding.
Yeah, they say pitching and defense will win games. Well, they've got some good pitching. Here you see 5 strikeouts on the day, really good defense, and to go along with that, you need some timely hitting.
Yeah, here's the hitting by Kruer, that 2-run double in the 3rd to back up Lush's pitching. And then on top of that, Jack Bile, who will start today, came through with an RBI hit. The coach's son closed out the game. Indiana beat Kentucky 6-1, and now it's on to a matchup with Ohio playing in its first game, and the last team here in the Great Lakes Regional to play a game. First pitch coming up here from Westfield, Indiana. Clouds starting to make their way into Westfield. The promise of rain later tonight around 9 Eastern time, and most of the morning and early afternoon tomorrow. But right now, 87 degrees and sunshine and baseball. On the mound for Indiana, Jack Bile, who in 2 innings of work yesterday, John, didn't allow a run and struck out 5.
All around the plate, fastball, curveball, changeup for him, and does a good job, as you said, throwing strikes, and that's the key against the Ohio offense. Scored a lot of runs in the state tournament.
He will face Garrett Given, who will be the leadoff hitter, the shortstop. Then backed up by Ben Leibel, the pitcher, who will bat second. Charles Oakleaf will hit 3rd for Ohio. Then it's Zach Barenbrock 3rd, 4th. Zach Casey, the number 5 hitter. Max Perper 6th. Ben Clark 7th. Brandon Eckelberry 8th, and Malcolm Carsberg, the left fielder and left-handed hitter, the only one in the lineup hitting from the left-handed position, will bat 9th. Well, it was Garrett Given, the leadoff hitter that you're looking at right now, that in his bio said, I want to face New Albany, the other New Albany.
Guess what?
Wish has been commanded. Coaches in the dugout, Jacob Clark. At first base, Mitch Given. The manager and third base coach is Greg Eckelberry. Greg in his other work is a firefighter. Mitch is a lobbyist, and Jacob Clark is a civil engineer.
Leading off for Ohio, shortstop, number 7, Garrett Given.
So despite they give their lives to Little League Baseball, they do have other lives. Mitch Given's son Garrett to lead it off for Ohio. Winner of this game gets Potent, Michigan on Wednesday afternoon. And moving a step closer to Williamsport. It'll be Garrett Given, Ben Liebel, Charles Oakley for the inning. Toward center field. Caught. Nice running catch by Cole Hewitt. 1 out. And that's part of that Indiana defense, John, that's going to be hard for Ohio to penetrate.
Yeah, we said how strong this team is up the middle. You start behind the plate with Alexander, and you talk about Wall and Jackson at second base and shortstop, and then center field Hewitt. These guys are really strong there. Showed yesterday, had 2 errors. That's the most they had made throughout the entire state and districts.
And one of the errors, we were talking with manager Jackson today, said happened because the throw to the base where no one was there was based on the fact that the first baseman Blaine Hamilton might have confused the shirt of the opposition's coach at third base with Landon Gum, who was not in position. But Gum, Jackson, and Wall and Hamilton make a very strong infield. And we saw Cody yesterday gobble up a couple that looked like they were headed for center field. Ben Liebel, the pitcher. Benjamin Robert will be 13 on September 18th. No team in this tournament yet has come from behind to win. Toward left field, and now towards center, drifting over is Cole Hewitt. 2 outs, and so Hewitt has back-to-back putouts in the first.
We could see that wind play a little bit with that ball, as you said, that was started out in left center field and ended up in about center field. You can see that flag whipping out there in right center field, and that's blowing left toward right field.
By the way, John, way to cover for me. Here's Charles Oakleaf. But it did appear it was headed toward
and it was
left center. It's probably the strongest wind we have experienced all day long. It blew up between games 1 and 2 today. Down the third base line. Charles Oakleaf around first with a 2-out single. Assuming that's how they score it, as Landon Gum could not get the glove down quick enough. We'll wait for the official ruling.
I'm going to give him a hit on that. That ball was hit hard. Tough play by Gum on the backhand here. Take a step. He'd probably say, I should have come up with that, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. That ball was hit hard.
Now Zach Barenbrock, the third baseman and the cleanup hitter, takes a fastball for a strike. Ohio playing in its first game in the tournament and the last one in this regional to play a game. Does that matter at all, John?
No, I know, it's something we talk about every year. I would say guys get a little antsy, want to get out there, but it does give you a chance to kind of do some scouting, too. From a player perspective, I think you're glad to finally get the chance to get on the field.
Off the pitcher's glove, and still, nice recovery by Brian Wall to throw out Zach Barenbrock. Ohio had a 2-out single to the Indiana first here on ESPN in a moment. Ben Liebel on the mound for New Albany of Ohio is a fan of Corey Kluber, the all-star from the Cleveland Indians, John.
Yeah, good guy to be a fan of. And Greg Eckelberry, their manager, told us they've got 8 pitchers that they can run out there on that mound. And they're going to start with him today in Liebel, and he's a guy that throws strikes too. Again, fastball, curveball, changeup, but typically going to go after guys with fastballs. He'll sit there in the mid-60s area. But key for him, as you've said before, this is a team getting their first experience here. How are those butterflies? How are those nerves stepping up into a big moment here in this regional?
They say he's good at location, location, location. Maxwell Alexander, the catcher, will lead off for Indiana, then followed by Luke Kruger, who had the big 2-run double last night. Jack Bile, an RBI single yesterday, is third. Landon Gum, fourth. Cody Jackson is fifth. Chase Lush, sixth. And Brian Wall, Blaine Hamilton, and Cole Hewitt. Alexander towards center field. Shouldn't be a problem for Zach Casey. 1 out. So already 3 fly balls hit in this game, and with that wind of some significance, we could see it carry a bit, as we have already.
Number 8, Luke Kruger.
Luke Kruger 1 for 2, 3 RBIs. That also included a sacrifice and RBI. And Kruger, as Brian Jackson, the manager, was telling us prior to the game, John, wasn't supposed to be the leadoff hitter last night. Was because one of the players was under the weather. That's not a problem today, as Maxwell Alexander is fine.
Well, he's a guy that can adjust. You can move him to the top of the lineup, hit him second in the lineup, but he's a guy, one of the best athletes on the field at any given time.
3 pitches. 2 outs, strikeout by Ben Lieber, who had 13 strikeouts and allowed 1 hit in the Ohio State Finals.
The pitcher, number 5, Jack Bile.
Said he's going to get a lot of guys out with fastballs. Fastball, curveball, change. All 8 guys they have, pretty much that's what they throw. Saw a good breaking ball that time by Liebel.
About due for a close game in these 2 regionals. We've had 5, and the closest has been a 4-0 shutout, if you want to call that close. Baseball, MLB keeps statistics on just about everything imaginable, including whoever scores first. How often do they win? That statistic not nearly as significant at that level, but particularly at smaller levels, beginning levels. We saw this in the Zionsville Regional in softball, where 16 games were played. 14 times the team that scored first won. And here so far it's 5 for 5.
Trending.
Something psychological about it too, I would guess. 1-2. Toward left field, base hit. Each team with 2-out singles. For Bile, second hit of the regional. Keeps it alive for Landon Gum, the third baseman.
Bile trying to help his own cause here. That ball was out over the plate. He kind of reached out with those hands, able to flick it out into left field.
Landon Gum 0 for 2 yesterday, but did score a run. New Albany of Ohio in the maroon uniforms, New Albany of Indiana in the white. Oftentimes you've heard the term, you can't tell the players without a scorecard. Can't tell the teams really now without some kind of scorecard or distinction. Lando behind on the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
I like Liebel's work out on the mound. Pretty quick, gets the ball ready to go again and fires strikes. Working down in the zone too.
Temperature at game pitch, first pitch of the second game, 86 degrees. It may touch 90 before the day is over. It will cool a bit as rain is welcomed in. Certainly not by people here, but by other folks in the area, likely Tuesday night and Wednesday. Question will be then, John, will it delay the games as we get closer to Clay Matvick and Chris Burke's coverage on ESPN later in the week. That'll be a foul ball. Ruled by home plate umpire Jeff Shuttle. John Budnick is at first. John Chirillo, volunteer umpire, along with the rest at second. And Rex Fogel, the volunteer ump, at third. Two. And 2 strikeouts for Ben Lieber in the first. You're right, John. Good start for him with some of his better stuff.
The home half of the first inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 runner left on base.
It's the feeling like it's never gonna end. It's the reason keeps you coming back again, saying, oh.
As we often do, we profile the hometowns of these teams. New Albany, Ohio, Little League, population over 10,000. 15 miles northeast of Columbus. Famous face is Bobby Rahal, who won it here in Indianapolis in 1986, the Indy 500. His son's still a very active racer. I was in attendance at Bobby's victory, and at that time, the man leading that organization, crew chief, was Jim Truman, who was dying of cancer and still made his way out to the facility on a steamy day to be part of what turned out to be a very special moment for Bobby Rahal. Top of the second inning, Zach Casey, Max Perper, Ben Clark, 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Ohio. The winner gets Michigan. That'll be Wednesday afternoon, 2 o'clock. The loser comes back tomorrow. It'll have to fight its way through the competition. And for Indiana, when you talk to Brian Jackson, the manager, they'd love to have a day off. Toward short. That's usually automatic in the hands of Cody Jackson, 1 out.
Got the easy hop that time. We've seen some short hops that have handcuffed some guys.
For Ohio, first baseman,
Things are going well. You're a good player out there. You get the easy hops. Jackson got it. Makes the routine play.
Here's Max Perper, the kid they call Big Cat. Turned 13 on June 22nd. Wave and a miss there, strike 1. We're chatting with both managers prior to the game. Greg Eckelberry and Brian Jackson about the use of replay. And the general feeling is we use it when it's a game breaker, when it's a situation where things could change in a heartbeat. They're aware of the 2 challenges they get, as this one is scorched to right field. And a 1-out hit for Ohio, second of the game. And we saw replay in use a lot in the first game today. Michigan challenged twice, failed twice, still won the game going away by 10.
Yep, all the coaches know you have 2 challenges. If they're unsuccessful, you don't have any more. So they typically wait in case they need them late. They don't want to mess up early and not have one in a clutch situation. So sometimes we'll see some, maybe call them bogus a little bit late in the game when they know they have them to throw away. But for the most part, coaches using them in timely manner so far.
Ben Clark was asking us in his bio, John, why did the policeman rush to the baseball game? Somebody stole second base.
Oh, yeah. You put some work in.
Yes. Cody Jackson with the wind, 2 outs. I just hope Clay and Chris use some of these for the weekend. I will be keeping tabs. These kids put a lot of work into this, I think.
Second baseman, number
I don't know
4,
if
Brandon
they have to go
Eckleberry.
delivery.
Brandon Eckleberry at the plate. Maybe it's just as well that they don't.
It's all about timing.
Brandon made a diving catch with the bases loaded in the state championship, a game saver for Ohio. A principal reason that New Albany is here. Brandon at the plate.
Thank you.
Greg, the skipper, the third base coach. All these coaches, as has been the case so far with the games we've had, have players that are active in these games. Toward right field. Inning stays alive for Ohio. Third hit of the game. So with 2 outs, Malcolm Karsmer is getting a chance to bat.
Now station to station. Not the big fly right now, but finding a way to get on base.
For Ohio, number 2, left
Good
fielder, Malcolm
look at a guy
Karsmer.
going the opposite direction. Hit that hard out to right field.
Here's Malcolm, considered to have the best baseball IQ. His mom and dad, Steve and Aaron, are attorneys.
For Ohio, taking over at second base as a special pinch runner, number 14, Josh Richardson.
So Josh Richardson will get an opportunity to run for Max Perper at second base. Scoring opportunity for Ohio here in a scoreless game in the second. Jack Bile from the stretch. If you were a starting pitcher and there was nobody on base, would you work from a stretch or as a starter if given an option?
No, I always went from the windup, never attempted that, but you see more and more kids and older players, guys in the pros doing it as well. No difference. Once you get that leg kick in the air, there's really not a difference on how you're going to deliver it.
Josh Rattray, our statistician yesterday, was looking up your pitching statistics over dinner. They were sparkling. And I mean that with sincerity. This could end the inning. Brian Wall to first. Ohio threatens and leaves 2. Cody Jackson will start the Indiana second when we get back to work. On a hot, steamy midsummer afternoon, it's a good day to be on the canal. Maybe got one of those little paddle boats to get yourself out there. Hall of Champions is there at the home of the National Collegiate Athletic Association. We have the Indiana champions versus the Ohio champions today. New Albany versus New Albany. And for Indiana, shortstop Cody Jackson will lead off the inning. 0 for 2 yesterday, walked and scored.
You ever go for a run down there?
Yep. Oh, yeah. And many a walk, too.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Looks like a beautiful place to take a run or a walk.
If you've ever been in the halls of the NCAA, that building is mammoth. And the Hall of Champions is a place to visit. Cody Jackson, Chase Lush, Brian Wall, 5, 6, and 7 for manager Brian Jackson in the second. Brian is the third base coach. Dave Wall coaches at first. Nick Alexander is on the bench. 1-2. Opening game for Ohio. Indiana, a 6-1 winner last night versus Kentucky. The game that finished about 9:45 Eastern time.
Get the feeling, Jim, when you look at these two guys out on the mound that we may see two guys that go close to 85 pitches in this ball game.
It's not a bad observation considering the fact that it is Monday. The winner gets to Wednesday and putting itself in position to get to the single elimination. In fact, really at that point will be not so much in a driver's seat, but positioning itself nicely. And Cody Jackson, who thought he had a walk, is called out by Jeff Shuttle, the home plate umpire.
Yeah, breaking ball. He thought it was up in the strike zone. Let's take a look at it.
Indiana right fielder, number 0.
Might have had an argument. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty close. 2 strikes. You always have to be careful.
He was looking to his dad, Brian, for an overrule there.
No video replay on that.
No, sir. Chase Lush at the plate. If we ever get to the point where we are replaying balls and strikes, games will last much further than last night's Yankees-Red Sox game did, which was 4.5 and change. Exciting, though.
Yeah. What do they normally average? About 4 for those two teams.
Easily.
When they play, right?
Game had reached 4 hours on ESPN. It was 4-1. And then the Red Sox got 3 in the 9th and 1 in the 10th to complete the 4-game sweep. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Neither team yet to score. That means Indiana now has pitched 7 1/3 innings, allowing just a run, and that was an unearned run at that. Earlier today, home run power from Michigan, 12-2 win. Chase Lush out on strikes, 4 now in the game for Ben Lieber.
Now, Lush, a guy that got 5 strikeouts yesterday, and he becomes a victim there as the breaking ball just down by the dirt gets him. That's the kind of pitch you want to throw there. Some conviction on that breaking ball. He throws a really good fastball, but trust that breaking ball where he throws it with confidence.
John Maddox, Culpepper did a lot of pinch running last night. Will bat for Brian Wall. 2 outs in the second. Mentioned Michigan's win of 12-2 today. 13 more hits for the hit machine from Grosse Pointe, Wood Shores, and in that win, 3 more home runs, plus several extra base hits of the triple and double variety.
19 runs in 2 games.
It's not in a conventional MLB 9-inning games either. That's 12 innings at bat. 6 apiece. Ball and 2 strikes on Maddox Culpepper. Ben Lieber chance to strike out the side as he works from the stretch.
Good pitch that time, just missed. He got the benefit of a doubt because the pitch before that was close.
Now 3 balls, 2 strikes. Blaine Hamilton hoping for a chance. He would bat 8th. So a quick turnaround for the Indiana All-Stars after winning last night and completing their victory close to 10 o'clock Eastern. And Ohio's just had a long wait. Good at bat for Maddox, who's on base with 2 outs. It's interesting, Ohio's team in girls softball in Zionsville also was the last team to play in that regional and just swept the field. And now is in Portland, set to play the Little League World Series softball championship. So Brian Wall, who was pinch hit for, now will be the pinch runner.
First baseman, 32, Blaine Hamilton.
And Blaine Hamilton, 1 for 2 yesterday, steps to the plate. Ball gets away, and on the second base goes the pinch runner, Brian Wall. So both teams with scoring threats here in the second inning. Let's see if Blaine can come through with a hit. Toward right field. Got it down. Runner around. Third's going to try to score. Go to the plate. Safe. Terrific throw by Charles Oakleaf. But Wall just beat it. That throw was spot on.
You're not kidding. Oakleaf let that thing go. He was a little frustrated he didn't get the out. As you can see, the base hit to right field. Had to go to right center on that. That was a long throw. Makes a crow hop and a strike. Throw to the plate, just not in time. Barely sneaking in. Wall with the score.
Now Cooper Anderson will pinch run.
Taking over at first base as a special pinch runner.
That might have been the best throw we have seen in this entire tournament.
And the batter, center fielder, number 35, Cole Hewitt.
Cole Hewitt, the 9th hitter in the Indiana lineup, now stepping up. Time called. Conversation at the mound for Ohio. Let's watch that throw again. It is worth multiple looks. Look how far that Charles Oakley has got to throw it.
Wow, and a one hopper too, perfect. You don't want a short hop a catcher either. Nobody wants that short hop, and that was a bullet to the plate.
And it looked like the great and legendary Roberto Clemente. Star for the Pirates for years, who had that sensational arm.
Hitting for Indiana, number 17, Gavin Rand.
Gavin Rand now will pitch hit for Cole Hewitt. This inning began with 2 outs. Maddox Culpepper walked. Brian Wall became the pinch runner, went to second. The ball got behind the catcher and then scored on Blaine Hamilton's RBI hit to right. And barely scored at that. So let's see if Indiana becomes the 6th consecutive team in these 2 regionals to get the lead first and win. Seems to be the magic formula so far. 2 balls and a strike. Back to the Indiana top of the order in a minute. And Maxwell Alexander scheduled to hit. Williamsport, Pennsylvania is within sight, as Westfield will send representatives from the Great Lakes and from the Midwest. And the weather here, regardless of whether it rains or not, is going to cool a bit. Going to get down about 10 degrees, closer to 15 from yesterday for maybe a day. Ben Lieber strikes out the side. Blaine Hamilton, though, with a hit to right field, and despite a great throw from Charles Oakley, Brian Wall scores, and it's 1-0 Indiana. Want to play Little League in your local community? Visit playlittleleague.org. Enter your address to find a Little League program near you. Look back to the old days, huh?
Yeah.
Still just as competitive and as exciting as it is now.
How about those crowds?
Amazing. Can you find an empty seat there?
Unbelievable.
Leading off the top of the third for Ohio, the shortstop, number 7.
Back in the day when everybody, or at least almost everybody, was professionally attired for games like that.
Was it not warm?
Yeah, I don't think it mattered. Top of the New Albany, Ohio third, Garrett Given, who flew out to center to start the game, will lead off. Jack Bile now has thrown 2 innings, 3 hit ball, has struck out no one, but he has 4 innings of shutout baseball in 2 appearances here in Westfield. Line drive right in the glove of Blaine Hamilton, who snatches it. 1 out, hit hard.
Wow. Hamilton having to react to this one. Gets the glove up just in time.
Pitcher, 22, Ben Liebel.
He's been close to one. Yesterday he was close to one too on that. Wasn't able to get a glove on it, but that one snagged it out of there.
It's pretty difficult to get one past this Indiana defense, especially in the infield. Chase Lush with a strong effort there to try to get to it as Ben Liebel is at the plate. Liebel flied out to center field like Given did in the first. Trailing in this game 1-0. Second of 4. Coming up later, it'll be Kansas, Minnesota, Iowa, North Dakota in the Midwest Regionals. Games at 4 and 7 Eastern Time. Always mention the Eastern Time Zone because we have a number of teams that times are listed an hour earlier in the Central. Jack Bile now up to his 35th pitch. Maxwell Alexander doing a nice job of holding the ball behind home plate just to give Jeff Shuttle a good look as the home plate umpire.
One more second.
Absolutely. But pitcher Ben Liebel's aboard with 1 out in the third. Charles Oakley, who singled in the first and had that sensational throw from right field that nearly nailed the runner trying to score now steps up.
Now batting for Ohio, the right fielder, 33, Charlie Oakley.
Each team with 3 hits in the game. Indiana with the only run.
We get the bios on these kids, and you look at Oakleaf and what he did on that throw from right field. Well, it's interesting what they say about him. Just can do it all kind of kid.
Hit deep to left field. Gone. Ohio has a 2-1 lead.
I say, can do it all kind of kid, right? You know he's got strength and power the way he threw that in from right field, and now he displays it at the plate.
Second hit of the game for Charles Oakley, none bigger.
Wow. Really just rotated the body, didn't even take a step. Just used the quickness of his hands to get that thing lifted out of the park.
That'll bring out manager Jackson to talk with his pitcher. 4th hit of the game for Ohio. 3 singles and now the 2-run bomb.
And a good visit to the mound, I think. Just to go out there and kind of settle them down a bit. Still a 2-1 ball game, so I think, as we said before, we got 2 guys on the mound that these coaches know they can go a long way with them. They just got to keep them motivated and calm out there. Don't let anything distract them.
Which is easy to do with a home run. Zach Barenbrock out of play to the right. Ohio has started every inning with its leadoff hitter being retired. This time around, though, after getting somebody on base, they make Indiana pay. John, we may have the USAA bat standard now in Little League, which some coaches say deadens the opportunities in home runs, but I just think it seems to be too evident yet, does it?
Well, the guys, and I heard a coach say this, and it makes sense, the guys that are supposed to be hitting home runs, they're the ones that are still doing it.
Sure.
The ability to take it out of the ballpark, the true power guys. In some aspects that, makes some sense. That's what gives guys like this Ohio team, when we talk to the coaches offensively, what makes them good. They said they're really balanced. They've got guys that can hit for power, and other guys find their way on somehow, whether it's taking a lot of pitches, finding a way to get walks. But you need that combination, and they've got power and the ability to play some small ball, both.
Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes, so 1 out here in the 3rd. Back to the pitcher, caught on the line drive. 2 outs. So what you're saying is the guys who are supposed to hit home runs, give them a folded up wet newspaper.
Yes.
And they're still going to be okay.
They're going to hit it out of the park. That's right. The guys that deserve it and have it are going to get it out, whatever you give them. I like the way you describe that.
This is the toughest of comebackers because after throwing the pitch, Jack Biles got to react. Bile thought, that was good enough for 2 outs there, and I should be out of the inning, but still has another out to record.
Got to give him a pass on that one. Your mind starts wondering what could have happened.
24, Zach Casey.
Zach Casey grounded out to short in the previous inning.
I remember coming back in the dugout after you catch a line drive like that, and the coach tells you, you got to charge that.
Hit number 5 off of Jack Bile. Casey keeps the Ohio inning alive. 2nd hit of the inning. Greg Eckelberry indicating there'll be a change as Ronan Busowitz will step up.
Number 9, Ronan Busowitz.
He will bat in the 6th position. Each team required to play everybody, and in most instances, bat and play the field. Runner on the move. Zach Casey into second base.
Base running there by Casey, recognizing the ball getting away from Alexander.
On a one-ball pitch, headed to center field. Ohio will add to its total. It's now 3-1.
And it's the little things. That ball, if you're at first base and you're not ready to take second base on a ball that's in the dirt, then you're still at first and you don't score on that play there. So
solid point.
Because of the exceptional base running by Casey to get to second base, now he scores on the base hit.
And that likely will be it for Jack Bile. So after being good enough through 2, he's hit for a couple of runs and responsible for a base runner here, actually 3 runs, and for a base runner now here in the 3rd. Pitching change and a pinch hitter change when we get back to work. Indiana headed to its bullpen as Luke Kruger comes on. Jack Bile has run into trouble here in the 3rd as Ohio's taken a 3-1 lead. Past the pitcher until the diving stop is made by Luke Kruger. 3 outs, 1 pitch, 1 out. Good job by Luke, but it's a 2-run homer in this inning. Launched by Charles Oakleaf, who's done it, as John mentioned, with the bat and the glove. John, if you're from New Albany, Indiana, and you're planning your vacation, you might as well just punch Westfield up and get ready to look at a hotel for several days, because this is the 4th time in the last 5 years that a Little League team from that area has made it to the regionals. 2nd straight year here in Westfield.
Leading off the bottom of the 3rd.
Not a bad place to vacation.
No, sir.
11, Maxwell Alexander.
Top of the Indiana lineup in the 3rd, beginning with Maxwell Alexander, 0 for 3 in the regional, 0 for 1 today. Maxwell's ambition to be a country music manager and writer. Carries a lucky colored dollar around. Might be difficult to cash. I imagine a cashier would take a look at it once or twice, but he's not going to give it up anyway.
No,
so.
wouldn't be lucky if you cashed it, right?
That's right. Ball and a strike. Ben Lieber, through 2 innings, has allowed a run and 3 hits, has walked a man, struck out 5. Kansas and Minnesota in a little more than 2 hours. Then Iowa, North Dakota. Toward third base, going to be a tough play. Zach Barrenbrock decides not to throw, and Maxwell Alexander is on to start the Indiana 3rd inning. And that'll be an error.
Yeah, slow grounder to third base. Tough play to come up with it, not able to do it. Alexander finds his way down to the first base bag.
Luke Kruger, who has come on in relief for Indiana and in its pitching at the plate. 1 for 3 for the regional, 2-run homer, and a ground out RBI. Up on the count, 2 balls. Game 1 taking an hour and 50 minutes. Won by Michigan handily over Wisconsin in its first regional appearance this week, 12-2. Kruger head on the count. And on a wild pitch, Maxwell Alexander down to second. Jack Bile, who has 2 hits in the regional, would bat next. 3-0. 3-1. Indiana has its top 2 hitters in the lineup on base to start the 3rd inning, without the benefit of a hit.
The Indiana right fielder, number 5, Jack Bile.
3rd inning last night, big for Indiana, scoring 3 runs and leading all the way through after that. Fastball for a strike to Jack Bile.
55 pitches now for Bile, but that fastball there, still had some pretty good pop on it. Velocity still there for him.
Bile, one of the more skilled hitters on this Indiana team. Favorite athlete, Romeo Langford, headed to Indiana. And Ben Lieber getting behind on some of his pitches in this inning.
Yeah, still has some pop on the fastball, but seemed to be struggling a little bit more with location right now. He's getting a good visit to the mound. This is the 2nd time Ben Clark has made that trip out there to try to calm his pitcher down.
The importance of that cannot be overemphasized. In the Yankees game last night, Alex Rodriguez, on the call of the game, was saying how much Larry Rothschild need to go out and calm down Aroldis Chapman, who wound up walking the bases and giving up 3 runs to tie the game. In this case, though, Ben Lieber loses Jack Bile, and now Lieber has a situation in which the bases are loaded. Still, again, without the benefit of a hit.
For Indiana, the 3rd baseman, 16, Landon Gum.
Here's Landon Gum. It's actually hit by pitch, excuse me. Gendo without a hit. That's a hit. That'll tie the game. Landon Gum comes through, and we're even at 3. What is it about Indiana in the 3rd inning?
Yeah. Now he gets a pitch over the plate that he can hit out into left field. Hits that ball just by the dive and given it. Not able to get it. 2-run score, as you say. Clutch hit for him, the number 4 spot. He's your RBI guy, and he produces.
Now Jack Biles over at third base. Gum at first, and still nobody out. Infield a double play depth. And they will concede. Landon Gum heading down to second. So now 2 people in scoring position for Indiana. Still nobody out.
Had a feeling this game would be one of those.
Did you?
Close game, yeah. We were due for one, and these 2 teams looked pretty evenly matched. Thought 2 guys on the mound that were matched well, too. We'd get a lot of strikes and see some defense out here.
This is C.J. Cody Jackson at the plate. And an important strikeout for Ben Liebel, 1 out.
Indiana left fielder.
Gets him on a breaking ball. That's the 2nd time I believe he's gotten him on that same pitch.
Not out of trouble yet. As Chase Lush has an opportunity to put his team ahead. Still just 1 out, 2 runs already in. Game tied at 3. A lot of chatter from both benches going on. Lush with a home run swing there. Right now the ambition with the infielders playing back is just hit the ball on the ground to one of them, and that will plate the go-ahead run. Instead, Chase is behind in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. How important will a strikeout by Ben Liebel be here for Ohio?
Would be huge.
1-2. Chase struck out in the 1st inning. 2 for 2 yesterday with an RBI. Jack Bile, the runner at 3rd. Landon Gum, who had the 2-run hit at 2nd. Back-to-back strikeouts by Ben Liebel. 2 outs in the inning, runners still at 2nd and 3rd. This could be a game-changing moment for New Albany of Ohio.
Wow. Liebel.
For Indiana.
Really nice breaking ball again.
And this is Brian Wall's first official bat in the game. A high roller. It's going to stay fair, and it's going to put Indiana ahead. That ball didn't go but, what, 20 feet?
If that. You get 2 big strikeouts, and Liebel throws another good pitch, and it gets tapped out in front of home plate, and almost like a sacrifice bunt as you can see it bound up there. Really no chance to get anybody, and probably the smart play by Penn Clark is just to do what he did and hold on to the ball.
Yeah, just eat it. Fly ball in the right field. Wind is carrying it. And dropped. Indiana adding another run, or did they? No, out. Home plate, it goes right field, pitcher, catcher. Well, Charles Oakleaf, who still has that great arm, dropped the fly ball for an error, then got the relay. This is going to be challenged, by the way. Frankly, John, I thought he was in there, but call at home plate by umpire shuttle is out.
Yeah, that was a good angle there. Tough to see. It was blocked by the home plate umpire. Couldn't really tell, but you may be right. Looks like that left foot may have gotten in there before the tag.
Indiana has plated 1. That's Landon Gum. That stands. question now is, will the play be reversed? Will the call be reversed? And Wall will be ruled safe for the 6th run. Here's the call. So Indiana now with 5 in the inning. Good protest, good challenge by New Albany and its manager Brian Jackson. And I think this is the right call to reverse, John.
Yeah, I think so. That left foot looked like it got underneath the tag there. So, you know, the good thing about it, you can make the call, get it right, and that's what they did. And I think they got it right there. As hard as that is to take on the other side, that call looked correct now.
Fielder, number 35, Cole Hewitt.
Indiana now has batted around. Cole Hewitt, the 9th hitter in the Indiana lineup in this inning to bat. This inning began with an error, a walk, and a hit batsman. Then Landon Gum came through to tie the game with a 2-run hit. And then on a drop fly ball in right field that resulted in 2 more runs scored. Indiana now has upped its lead to 6-3. And before that, should mention that Brian Wall had the infield hit that put him ahead 4-3. What a crazy 3rd inning for both teams. Indiana giving up 3, coming back with 5. After 3, it's now New Albany of Indiana 6 and New Albany of Ohio 3.
We knew the Little Leaguers would be excited to meet the big leaguers and their heroes. This is something they will never forget.
All 16 teams have gathered here to see a big league game. And Bell cranks one. First pitch gone. A diving catch.
Number 54.
Worked so well for Little League at MLB last year. Encore performance this year in Williamsport. Another major league game. Mets and Phillies from the NL East. Only 1 of the 5 Indiana runs in the 3rd were earned as we head to the 4th. Ohio, which started at the bottom of the 3rd with a 2-run lead, now is in a 3-run hole. Aiden Booth is pinch hitting. Luke Kruger came on, threw 1 pitch. Got the out needed in the Ohio 3rd inning. Now back to work in the 4th. One out in the 4th. Malcolm Karsmer is scheduled to hit. He grounded out second to first.
Little late on that fastball by Kruger out there. I like the way Kruger reacts on the mound. Was he the guy yesterday? You say throwback from the catcher. He kind of slaps at it like a
Yeah.
reliever that's ready. Give me the ball again. I'm ready to throw
It's
it.
like he's mad.
Uh-huh.
Kai Boone-Many will bat for the first time in this game. Number 27 in the 9th spot. Just trying to think of a major league pitcher that did something like that. We had a few that used to snarl.
Yeah. Well, a reliever will do that. That was kind of casual there, but throwback from his catcher, he'll get a little fired up. Maybe it was when he misses the plate or something.
On the change, misses high 1-1. Michigan pounded out 13 hits in its 12-2 win over Wisconsin earlier today. It awaits the winner of this game Wednesday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Well, we had a nice, quiet game through 2 innings, and both teams had an out-of-body experience in the third as 8 runs were scored between the two. K-Dog at the plate, Kai Boone-Many. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Luke Crewer. 2 outs. And to the top of the Ohio order.
Fastball up high again.
For Ohio, the shortstop, number
Boy, it's
7,
like
Garrett
these guys
Gibbons.
watch a lot of Major League Baseball. A lot of big leaguers are doing that now, elevating with 2 strikes, trying to get guys chasing. They're doing it here at this level too. You can see Alexander wants that pitch up there. Used to be everything down. Let's work down. Now you get 2 strikes, and they want guys, if they're going to hit it up, pop it up, or miss it.
General theory is that strikeouts way up last year because people were trying to hit home runs. But then pitchers recognized that. Maybe that 2-strike pitch is just too difficult to lay off. And if you've got a high strike zone from your major league umpire, all the better.
Yeah, well, I think a big strikeout too. You get those guys trying to hit home runs, and now just about everybody's throwing 95, 90. A little hard to catch up with a 97, 98 mile an hour fastball.
2 strikes, 2 outs. Led to our specialty pitching now, where we have guys who come on, pitch a third of an inning. And you might see, even in the course of a low-scoring game, 4 or 5 different pitchers, all with different positions, starting, trying to hold the lead, maybe another hold pitcher, and then your closer.
Yep. So you're thinking there should be a stat for a holder?
There is one, I think.
How many holds he gets?
Yeah, but you know, it doesn't move me. I don't know about you. I do like when it's kind of refreshing or amusing when announcers will typically say, well, this guy's trying for a 2-inning save. and you know, that's way of the dinosaur stuff. Back in the day, not unusual for Bruce Sutter, the Hall of Fame, to go for 3 innings with a close. Well, Mariano Rivera coming on in the 8th, the Sandman for the Yankees. Trevor Hoffman, one of the great save artists as well. 2-2 pitch. Coaches say Garrett Gibbon is one of the best at 3-point shooting. So if this team ever gets a summer league basketball game going, you want this man on your side. Hanging alive with 2-2. Strike him out, throw him out. Luke Crewer strikes out the side in the 4th. So he's faced 4 batters. He has retired all 4. Indiana to the top of its order in the bottom of the 4th. Clouds continuing to settle in. Will we get rain starting later tonight? Mandatory play in Little League Baseball is based on the number of players a team has at the beginning of the game. Indiana starts with 14, Ohio has 13. So each player must bat once. The manager's refusal to insert players into the lineup results in immediate ejection and removal for the remainder of the International League Tournament. Indiana batted around in the third and scored 5. Maxwell Alexander deep to center field and dropping in. Turned around Zach Casey. He has a leadoff single.
Wow, I think Casey thought that ball was hit a little bit better than it was. He just turned and started running out in center field. Turned his back on the ball. When he turned back around, the ball had faded toward right field, unable to come up with it.
Ohio now as a team up to 75 pitches.
Pinch hitting for Indiana, number 23.
Here's Cooper Anderson. (6-3) Indiana after a 5-run third. Trying to become the first team in this tournament to fall behind and win. Michigan awaits. Second base caught. No chance for a double up. Handled by Brandon Eckelberry. 1 out in the Indiana fourth. Here's Jack Bile, who has singled, been hit by a pitch, and
For
scored.
Indiana, right fielder, number 5, Jack Bile.
In addition to the winner of this game, facing Michigan on Wednesday, the loser is back at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning to face Illinois. Illinois ran into that powerful Michigan team in its opener yesterday.
Sure did. Gave up 7 runs to Michigan. Illinois scored 2 on them.
And had chances early.
You know what? Holding Michigan to 7, that's a pretty good thing.
That's a big deal, isn't it?
That's a big deal, yeah.
Especially after scoring 12 today. Headed to left field. Indiana with 2 aboard here in the fourth. Trying to add to that 3-run lead, and Bile now perfect. 2 for 2 and on base 3 times.
Top part of this order has been pretty productive, including Bile, as he picks up another hit.
Landon Gum had a big hit in the third with the bases loaded, delivered a 2-run single, and eventually scored the go-ahead run. Well, his manager Brian Jackson says he just strives in those big-time situations. Caught the final out in the state championship game for this New Albany team. Well, Ben Clark had a choice there, but neither runner had strayed too far.
No, when he first looked, he looked at second base, saw Alexander. Bile was off quite a bit at first base, but his attention was on the lead runner, which probably is the right call.
Landon out on strikes, 2 outs in the fourth.
Really good breaking ball by Liebel that time to get an important strikeout. Gum, after getting the base hit last time, this time sits down with this, looked like a knuckle curve. It almost looked like his finger was off the ball that time.
It's 8 strikeouts now for Ben Liebel as Jackson will head to the bench, and there'll be a pinch hitter for Indiana and Aiden Lehman.
And this will be the last hitter for Liebel out on the mound. His pitch count right at 83 now. He'll max out at 85 or a little more than that. But once he starts this hitter, unless he gets this out on the first pitch.
Deserving of a nice round of applause. He's battled well today for New Albany. The undoing came in the third with a leadoff error, then a walk and hit batsman. And now the bases are loaded.
Well, we saw that same thing yesterday on the 85th pitch in the very last batter. The hitter was a hit by pitch that ended the day for the guy on the mound that went 85 pitches.
Maybe it's almost like I got to make this pitch as good as I can possibly make it because I know I'm at my limit. Another potential big inning brewing for Indiana.
And the call looks like it's going to go to Zach Casey out in center field.
We have seen Zach Casey so far. Days of rest to determine how many pitchers you throw. You can finish the at-bat at each threshold. So let's say you're at, just as an example, 65 pitches and you reach 69 on that last at-bat. Go by the threshold that's indicated. So Zach Casey will try to put out the storm here.
Liebel was pretty effective using breaking balls and fastballs to get guys out. He was good with location. You see catcher setting up outside. When he was effective, he was working down, and he got plenty of strikeouts on a day, and that's a big day when you can go 85 pitches, and it really helps save a bullpen or guys that you need. Although they have 8 of them, they want to hold all they can.
Number 24, Zach Casey.
Because let's guess at the possibility that Ohio loses this game as Case is on the pitch. And now you're coming back tomorrow to play in an elimination game, and you're going to have a few of those, so at least a couple. So it's important to have all hands healthy and on deck.
Yeah, typically the way we see it, if a guy can go 85, then they'll start bringing guys in and throw just about 20 pitches, maybe not more, so they can have that entire group back the next day.
Well, Casey at the bat. This time it's Casey at the mound. He's 13 years of age on September 30th. Chance for Indiana to bust it open here. Chase Lush, who has struck out twice. Missing on the change. Ball and a strike. And off the hit batsman, another run in. So back-to-back Indiana players have been hit. It's an RBI for Chase Lush. It's another Indiana run.
Zach Casey looked over in the dugout and kind of gave a thumbs up to his coach, and I'm all right, nowhere to come out here. That one just got away from me.
Pinch running situation.
Taking over at first base as a special pinch runner for Indiana.
It's Maddox Culpepper.
Maddox Culpepper. Now batting for Indiana, number 9, second baseman Brian Ball.
Indiana with a 4-run lead and a chance for that to get even better. Beauty of the backstop is that ball comes back pretty quickly.
Yeah, and the beauty of having Bile at third base is he's aware of that. Good base runner, heads up, knowing that that ball could come back in a hurry. The thing you have to be careful about is the guys behind you. Cody Jackson recognizing at second base that Bile wasn't trying to go. He held up. Smart base running all around.
Count is 2 balls, no strikes, and the bases are loaded. If you're Ohio, getting out of this inning is imperative. You don't have but just 6 outs remaining. You have no margin for comfort at this point. And Luke Kruger has been throwing bullets. Ball 4. Bases loaded, walk to wall. And Indiana adds to its total. 8-3.
Mentioned before, Zach Casey looked over, gave the thumbs up that I'm okay. Now he's going to get a visit to the mound, regardless of how he feels. It's 11 pitches right now. This could be just, hey, let's calm down here. This thing's starting to get away from us. We don't want to have to use as many pitches as possible, so.
Haven't had a chance to visit the visits to the mound rule. Second visit to a pitcher in an inning. Third in a game. Pitcher must be removed. Offense is permitted a visit to a batter or runner per inning and a timeout to make a simple change on offense or defense. Does not count as a visit. There will be a pitching change for Ohio. Zach Casey will return to the outfield. He'll be in right field. And Charles Oakleaf will get his chance.
Pitching change.
And we'll introduce you to Charles when we come back.
Moving from the mound out to right field, number 24, Zach Casey.
It's been quite a day for Charles Oakleaf. Hitting-wise, he has a single and a 2-run homer. Defensively, nearly threw a runner out at home plate on a deep throw from right field. And then almost got a second man thrown out after he dropped a right field fly ball that eventually resulted in a couple of runs. Now he's on the mound.
Now batting for Indiana.
And looking at a fire of runners for Indiana, they're loaded. Blaine Hamilton, chance to clear the bases. Indiana is a batter away from putting itself in a 10-run position.
Well, you can, if that arm strength translates from right field to the mound, you can expect some pretty good heat from this guy on the mound right now.
He's got a great arm. Toward shortstop. Can it go at any base? That will get Ohio out of the jam. Oakleaf does his job in relief. But now Ohio has 6 outs to make up 5 as we go to the 5th. Quiet beginning to this game. Ohio 1-0 with Indiana. Then Charles Oakley got a 2-run homer. Ohio took a 3-1 lead. Indiana, however, bounces back, bats around in its share of the inning. Luke Crewer, Landon Gum got the big hit, bringing home Crewer and Maxwell Alexander. Then an infield single by Brian Wall put him ahead 4-3, and then Charles Oakley battling the wind and the sun resulted in 2 more runs. That was a call out at the plate that was reversed. Indiana got 5, and it is 6-3 as we start now the Ohio 5th. Ben Leal at the plate. Starting pitcher today for Ohio, who went as far as he could go. Has flied out to center, walked in the third, and has scored. Slow roller. Fielded by Crewer, throw to first. And Lebo gets on base to start the 5th. That was a tough play to begin with for Luke. And we'll see how it is scored. It is a hit.
Now batting for Ohio.
Yep, you have to come off the mound, try to field that in one. Not able to take a step, so you're kind of fielding it with that plant foot. Watch his right foot on the ground. You want to just step and throw, and ball just got away. I wasn't able to get him.
Hit number 7 of the game for New Albany of Ohio, which has had a base runner on in every inning but the previous one, in which the side was struck out. Charles today 2 for 2, the single and the 2-run homer. Right now, the most important thing is for Ohio to get on base. Get in a position where you could bring that tying run to the plate. 3 balls, 1 strike.
You're exactly right. Find a way to get on. Put some pressure on a very good defense out there, but you need guys out there, that's for sure.
2 on, nobody out to start the Ohio 5th. Luke Crewer so good through the first 4 batters. He has given up an infield hit, and now the walk.
For Ohio, third baseman, number 19, Zach Barenbrock.
Third baseman Zach Barenbrock, 0 for 2 today. Zach tells us he is related to Mike Lapper, the former U.S. national soccer player. Nicknamed Z-Bear. Z-Bear toward third. Force at third, long throw to first, double play. Landon Gum with the right idea. Steps on third for the initial force, then gets the double play. And here's an example why Indiana is so solid on defense.
Yep, heads up play by Gum, knowing where you're going to go if the ball's hit to you. And he knows he has time as that ball was hit fairly hard to him, steps on the bag, and more important, he throws a strike over to first base for the double play.
Pitch count 29-2-9.
Zach Casey 1 for 2 with a base hit and a run scored. Takes some of the steam out of a potential big inning for Ohio. Still with a runner at second, but now with 2 outs. Off the wild pitch, runner advancing to third. And that would be Charles Oakley.
Right fielder, 24, Zach Casey.
In that Yankees-Red Sox game I was referring to earlier in our broadcast, it was an error that opened up the Yankees' 4-run 7th, only to have a Yankees error with 2 outs in the 9th that led to the tying run and Boston's eventual win. Up the middle, base hit will score a run. Zach Casey's second hit of the game. He gets a run batted in. Charles Oakleaf scores for the second time today, and now Ohio within 4. The importance of the double play certainly comes into talk here.
What a difference that double play makes. Pitcher's best friend is the ball right back up through the box there. Gets through, and Oakleaf scores, and what would have been had that double play not been there.
Now, John, chance for Max Purple, who singled in the second inning. Still need a couple more runners to have a chance. Get that tying run to the dish. Toward third base, Landon Gum. And a good 5th inning defensively. Started a double play, gets the final assist of the inning. Ohio gets 1 to the bottom of the order for Indiana in the 5th.
Ohio in the top of the 5th.
The Little League Grow the Game grant has distributed over $2 million at the local level. Grant funding provides local Little Leagues resources for general improvement and to expand or establish softball, challenger division, and urban initiative programs. For more information, visit littleleague.org/grow the game. John Gregory and Jim Barber with you for Game 2 of the Great Lakes Regional. This game will wrap up our coverage of that regional, at least today. Then we get to the Midwest later this afternoon and tonight. Caden Reed is leading off for Indiana in the 5th. Indiana nearly batting around twice in the last 2 innings. Tough play at second base, but a good recovery by Brandon Eckleberry, 1 out.
Eckleberry did not panic on that. Reach down. I love it that he picked it up. We discussed this earlier. Picking it up with your bare hand or glove hand. Watch him reach down. Make sure you get it with your bare hand and makes a throw over. And he doesn't throw it too hard where the first baseman can't handle it. Well done.
Now Maxwell Alexander on base twice today with an error and a hit and has scored twice. He has set the table nicely for Indiana, which now is 3 outs away from a showdown with Michigan Wednesday afternoon at 2. If this game holds up, that could be a terrific matchup. Kansas and Minnesota follow in less than 90 minutes. Then Iowa and North Dakota tonight. And again, a loser of this game faces Illinois tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in an elimination game. And the winner, as aforementioned, gets a day off, and we'll get a look at Michigan on Wednesday. Maxwell is on base for the third time today. Exactly what you want from your leadoff hitter.
Now batting for Indiana, the pitcher, number 8, Luke Crewer.
Luke Crewer now steps in. Indiana with 6 last night and 8 runs scored today. Crewer shows bunt, takes it back, runner goes. Crewer's in the way for the moment. I doubt there'll be obstruction. And down to second base goes Maxwell Alexander. Lukey at the plate, Luke Crewer. Now the runner down to third. Luke's parents, by the way, Brad and Kim, both physical therapists.
Well, Alexander pretty aggressive. No, as soon as that ball hit the dirt, he was taken off. Knows how hard it is back there behind that dish.
Luke Crewer has already driven in 3 in this tournament. John, a chance to get a 4th in here. We continue to keep our minds on the weather as clouds have rolled in here a couple hours ago. And the latest forecast has the possibility of rain now moved up to 8 this evening. Tomorrow, a chance of rain with an open spot between 7 and noon initially. Don't worry, John, we won't begin at 7 tomorrow. It's still 10 o'clock.
Whatever it takes. Need to get it done.
I agree. Hit a mile high to left field. Ohio protects its situation by keeping Alexander at third on the catch by Malcolm Karsmer. There are now 2 outs. Yeah, usually up pretty early, aren't you? Of course of a day. Yeah.
For Indiana, right fielder, number 5, Jack Bio.
No sense in holding these kids up. If they want to go, let's go play.
It's interesting. You and I had Indiana and Stanford in the regional finals, the NCAA College World Series, the tournament, a few years ago. Kyle Schwarber's final game before he became a Cub. A game delayed by 3 hours of rain in which the managers were presented with the option of moving the game up.
Yeah.
And did not, and hit the rain delay, but still finished close to midnight.
Got to see Schwarber's last college home run.
Yes.
You called it.
Yes, and in a game in which Stanford won on a walk-off homer by the shortstop who had 1 homer prior to his big moment. Kyle Schwarber telling anybody who would listen as he moved on to the majors, it took him months to get over that.
Yeah.
Of course, he won a World Series ring in 2016, so
that'll make up for it a bit.
That eased the pain, I'm sure. But all great competitors typically remember the losses first.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to talk to coaches sometimes. You might laud them on their great history, but they'll bring up the one that got away. You almost want to look at him and go, what are you talking about? But it's the way they are. This one's hit deep to center field. But close to the track is Ben Liebel, hauls it in. Last chance for Ohio, needing 4 to tie. has been a batter's delight this game. Only one half inning has the side been retired in order on either side. Indiana 8-6-0, again a game without any major mistakes. Ohio 4-8-2, and Landon Gum trying to seal the deal, coming on in relief for Indiana. He will face the bottom of the Ohio order, and that's probably as far as he'd like to go, beginning with Ben Clark. The winner gets Michigan Wednesday. The loser gets Illinois tomorrow morning.
Number 11, Ben Clark.
And that would be an elimination game. You might wonder why Ohio doesn't have a day off, having to come back if in fact it loses this game. But it did have the initial day off in the tournament, not playing on Sunday, but rather on Monday. All teams were around for the opening ceremonies yesterday afternoon at roughly 5:30 Eastern time. One ball, two strikes.
And you're right, Gum would like to just kind of see if he can get 7, 8, 9 here and not have to go to the top part of this dangerous Ohio lineup.
His two best pitches are fastball and change. And if he gets to that top of the lineup, it means Ohio will have something cooking here in its last at bat. 6-inning regulation games for Little League. How about that take on 2-2?
Yeah, Ben Clark almost offered for that, but able to hold his water on it.
Ohio has its leadoff batter aboard. A couple of more and things get to be pretty dramatic.
One more guy gets on, I think you'll start hearing these crowd on the first base side get a little excited.
Michigan has the best rally of any team in the tournament, scoring 4 with one out in the bottom of the 6th in his state tournament, and then eventually winning 5, 4, and 8. Aiden Booth to the plate. Batted in the 4th inning and struck out. Strike one. The runner advancing to second is insignificant unless you're looking at a double play ball.
Exactly.
Or the possibility of a force.
Yep. Anytime you can take away a force, it's going to help you offensively.
It's ruled a pass ball. Ball, 2 strikes on Mr. Booth. Aiden, along with the rest of his teammates, touched Doug the hamster prior to the game for good luck. That's not a live hamster, by the way. When I was preparing my notes, I did not see toy hamster until late in the bios. Drop third strike, 1 out. Runner in the meantime advances to third. Touching a live hamster would make things rather interesting each game.
Yeah, you got to catch him first.
Yes. Make sure he's within shouting distance. That's a toy hamster, though.
Now batting for Ohio, the left fielder, number 2, Malcolm Karsmer.
Malcolm Karsmer, the left fielder, the number 9 hitter in the Ohio lineup, as Ohio now down to its final 2 outs. Two base runners on top of what Ohio has now would bring the tying run to the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. An Indiana win would make Indiana the first team to come from behind and win a game in either regional. 1-2.
just missed. That fastball outside, Gum. Doing a good job here, coming in, just trying to get guys set down, not trying to overpower. Let your defense play behind you.
In the meantime, Malcolm Carsberg doing a pretty nice job of hanging around.
Yep. Gum knows about that defensively. He's played a really good third base. Trust these guys behind him as well.
Two outs. By the way, Case Lush now at third base. Chase Lush and
For Ohio, the
Luke Cruz
shortstop,
moved to
number
left
7,
field as
Garrett
Gum
Gibbons.
gets his second strikeout. One more. Indiana would be 2-0 and advancing to the game with Michigan in the winner's bracket on Wednesday. You know, if you're a Little League fan, that is a game to see if you can sneak out of work for a couple hours early. Could be looking at the team from this region that's going to represent it in the World Series in Williamsport. Garrett Gibbon, Ohio's last hope. Tough play. Did he get the runner? Yes! Game over. The final play of every game is reviewed, so everybody's hanging around just to make sure.
Well, while they review this, we'll talk about Gum's ability to come off the mound, fielder's position. We said how good he is at third base.
And do the right thing.
Yes, right in front of him. Makes the tag. Does he get there? Boy, heads up play.
Hard to tell there.
It's going to be a tough angle. This may be the best look here. The whiff.
I don't think he got him.
I don't know. Tough call for the home plate umpire. He's behind. Hard to see that. I didn't see the glove move. Did you? That would be an indication to me.
Well, only the ball game hangs in the balance here. Jeff Shuttle to replay. If the play stands, game over. The play is reversed. It's 8-5 and Ohio has a man on base. How's this for drama and theater?
Does the end of the glove move? I don't see that.
So that means what?
I think it's a reverse call here. I think he's safe.
You're right, John. 8-5 on an infield single that didn't go but 15, 20 feet. So there's life for Ohio. RBI for Garrett Gibbon. Run scored on a slide by Ben
The Ohio
Clark.
center fielder, number 22, Ben Liebel.
Ben Liebel's job is to get on base and give Charles Oakley, who already has a home run, a chance to tie it. Ohio still a base runner away. Gum from the stretch. And strike one. Ben Liebel's flying out, walked and scored, had an infield hit similar to the one you just saw moments ago. Hit towards center field and deep. Up against the fence. Tying runs at second and third now. Actually, tying run coming to the plate on Liebel's double.
Well, Liebel thought that ball had a chance to get out of here. One hops off the fence, and good job down there coaching at third base. You don't want to send Gibbon in and get thrown out at the plate here.
Well, if Charles Oakley can do this again, we would have a tied game. Runners at second and third. Ground ball second base could end it. Game over. Indiana survives the sixth, is now 2-0, and moving on to face Michigan on Wednesday. Quite an ending to this game.
Yeah, quite a finish to this. We thought it would be a close game and a low-scoring game. Turned out to be 8-5. Indiana, again, playing good defense and getting the pitching they need and the timely hitting to get that victory. And Ohio will have to regroup quick to get back to play tomorrow.
John, everyone now has played in this Great Lakes Regional.
Indiana 8.
Ohio completing its first game So Indiana at the top with Michigan at 2-0. They'll face each other Wednesday afternoon. That game will be 2 o'clock on ESPN. And in the meantime, with the loss, it's a 10 a.m. start tomorrow for Ohio against Illinois. It's 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Fun game to do, John.
Absolutely was.
Didn't seem like this thing was in charge by either team at any point. Indiana 8-6-0. Ohio 5-10-2. We'll see at 4 Eastern, 3 Central. That's not far from now, as Minnesota takes on Kansas.